Eknath hai to safe hai, tweaking the ek hai to safe hai slogan of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I honestly, I don't see that anybody other than Devendra Fadnavis gets to call the shot. But in life, as in politics, you can never be 200% sure until unless it's announced. We'll wait and watch. We'll have to wait and watch as to what exactly Eknath Shinde is going to say, what exactly he's going to announce. But one thing is very clear, Kabir, and there's no doubt about it, is that there's zero elbow room as far as Shinde is concerned. There's zero elbow room as far as Ajit Pawar is concerned. Right. And Ajit Pawar has already, voiced his support for Devendra Fadnavis as the chief minister. So, number-wise, the BJP sits pretty, and they are not in any kind of, problem as far as number is concerned. So it'll be very interesting to see.
Brijesh, take a look at this. Some of those visuals we're putting out for our viewers as well. And these visuals are, emblematic of the situation that we're looking at as well. The catch-22 in Maharashtra. You rightly pointed out, there seems to be no elbow room, but that chief minister's coveted seat seems to be empty over there. I mean, the image speaks for itself as well as everybody waits right there at the Varsha Bungalow. Brijesh, you pointed out that there's no elbow room, absolutely zero elbow room. So could this press conference rather be about, Eknath Shinde placating his own MLAs and MLCs, maybe putting that word across to his own party function?
Well, Kabir, politics is all about posturing. We all knew that Shinde will not give in without the murmury and the customary protestations, and it was true to form. We started seeing Sena MLAs, and so everybody saying that before the election there was a conversation between the three leaders, and it was decided that irrespective of who gets what or the arithmetic of the composition and which party gets how many seats, Eknath Shinde is the one who is going to be the chief minister. This is as per the Sena sources. But when you look at the number, out of 149 seats which the BJP contested, the BJP got 132, and with the support of independents it had 137. And compare it to the numbers which Sena has or Ajit Pawar NCP is concerned. So number-wise, BJP is sitting absolutely pretty, and it has no problem whatsoever in forming the government even on its own. So I think it'll be very, very fascinating to see what exactly Eknath Shinde is going to announce. Will he announce, and if you ask me individually, I think chances of him saying that nothing is wrong as far as Mahayuti is concerned, most of the things which are going on in the media, mere speculation, as you know, the media becomes the favorite scapegoat for these politicians who first feed us information and say and request you to run it as per sources and then completely deny it. So I think something of that sort might happen, but you don't know for sure as to what exactly Eknath Shinde is going to say in this particular press conference. But again, I would reiterate that there is no elbow room. There is no, there's no scope for any kind of political pressure being put on BJP by anybody as far as the state of Maharashtra is concerned. Kabir?
The last 2.5 years, Brijesh, I mean, people were dividing Maharashtra's last 5 years into two parts, 2.5 years of the MVA, 2.5 years of the Mahayuti. And the recent elections, not just in Maharashtra, Jharkhand and several bypolls, they showed us that, Revadis were, of course, winning these elections as well. There is a little bit of reputation at stake as well. The development and the infrastructure that the Mahayuti alliance has been, building upon and, harping about in the run-up to the elections, that is also something that Eknath Shinde has to safeguard. So on that particular front, this is going to be more of a message to his own MLAs and MLCs. Mind you, all those MLAs and MLCs already in a huddle at the Varsha Bungalow.
Well, of course, Eknath Shinde was the face of it, and if you look at his, the day he joined and the day he demitted his office, it was an absolute metamorphosis of Eknath Shinde as a politician, and he, grew on the job. The couple of decisions which they took went on to, be one of the key reasons why the Mahayuti was able to romp home with such an absolute majority. And there was also the fact that, 2024 general election, performance of Shinde was much better than performance of Bharatiya Janata Party, which almost saw Devendra Fadnavis resign and go to Delhi in some other capacity, or work in organization. So what is interesting is that situation was different. The BJP was in complete need of Eknath Shinde, and that is the reason why Eknath Shinde was made the chief minister, because the BJP didn't want to take any kind of chances after the kind of political embarrassment it had suffered previously when Devendra Fadnavis was sworn in as CM and Ajit Pawar was sworn as deputy CM in the wee hours of morning, and later turned out to be a huge political embarrassment for the Bharatiya Janata Party. So they didn't want to repeat that, and that is the reason why they didn't took any chance whatsoever. But right now, as we speak, the situation is completely changed. The BJP, kind of washed away the stains of not winning good number of Lok Sabha seats by romping home with a conversion of almost 90%, which is phenomenal in politics. And given the fact that this is the third term which the Bharatiya Janata Party is seeking, in which they are getting more than 100 seats, this is their best ever performance till date. So with this kind of performance and this kind of number which is there, I don't see BJP repeating what it has been doing in the state of Bihar. And that is the reason why, initially when one of the Sena MLA said that, it should go on like follow the Bihar model, the BJP was very clear that, Bihar situation was completely different. In Maharashtra, the situation is completely different. And that is the reason why it looks highly unlikely that the BJP would cede away the seat of the chief ministership to Eknath Shinde. It will be interesting to see, how Shinde is accommodated, whether he comes to Delhi or, as a cabinet minister, or whether he stays put, becomes a deputy chief minister, and his people are being accommodated in a big way. So it will be very interesting to watch how much Shinde gets, and is this really a power show, a show of strength by Shinde? Because I would not want to look at it that way, because right now, the situation or the arithmetical composition of this particular Mahayuti is something which doesn't favor any of the ally partner. It favors only one party, and that is Bharatiya Janata Party.
Naturally, what, Brijesh, somebody who's a chief minister getting an instant mayor consolation right, after the elections is something that's not very easy to digest. You spoke about the Bihar model, no room for elbow, no room for the Bihar model, but as in what next? It's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen next in the state of Maharashtra.
Well, if you look at the fact that Devendra Fadnavis himself was the chief minister, and when it was announced that he's going to become the deputy chief minister, you could see his face, his body language. It was very clear that he has been dealt a blow by the top leadership of the Bharatiya Janata Party. But in politics, politicians are extremely pragmatic when it comes to assessing their own situation vis-a-vis the political structure or the political need of the party. Devendra Fadnavis settled in as deputy chief minister in next 3-4 days without much of a protestation. Initial 24 to 36 hours was completely different, but then he settled in that position, and many believe that why can't Eknath Shinde also do the same? Because Devendra Fadnavis has been a chief minister for 5 years. He's a big leader in Maharashtra. His party is in power in center, and his party is power in most of the big states as far as north and south is concerned. So many believe that with the kind of number they have, they feel that the Eknath Shinde camp should not even ask for it. It's absolutely all right that everybody wants to become the chief minister, and they would want to press home the point to the top brass of BJP. But chances of it, Kabir, looks highly unlikely. I'll be very, very surprised if that happens.
Even as we wait for the Chief Minister to come for this press conference, I think shortly, moments from now, we're going to expect the Chief Minister, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, to come and address this entire issue. What is this message going to be? To whom is it going to be directed? It's going to be interesting to see all of that. But Brijesh, just to speculate, on the ground over there, several experts and analysts, political analysts, were of the opinion that Maharashtra is slowly and gradually becoming a little more polarized in terms of what Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh, the Hindi heartland, the kind of picture we get from there. With this gradual movement in terms of transformation of polity in the state of Maharashtra towards being a little more polarized, we've got, cases from Sambhaji Nagar, Vikroli as well, many of those cases coming to light. It is going to be important to see and very interesting to understand how the BJP might exploit these issues for, of course, their political gains. But I'm going to hold you on that aspect because it seems like Eknath Shinde has come and, taken that particular seat. Let's cut right across to the press conference, Brijesh.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये सस्पेन्स आहे, भूमिका काय आहे, एकनाथ शिंदे शांत का आहे, एकनाथ शिंदे आपल्या आमदारांना काम देत नाहीये आणि देशाचा लक्ष लागलेला आहे.
मला पहिला बोलू दे. सर्वप्रथम तुम्ही जरा शांत राहिला तर मी बोलेन. सर्व पत्रकारांचं मनापासून मी स्वागत करतो आणि निवडणुकीच्या निकालानंतर आपण एवढ्या मोठ्या प्रमाणावर पहिल्यांदा भेटतोय. त्यामुळे मी सर्वप्रथम महाराष्ट्रातल्या तमाम मतदारांना, जनतेला मनापासून धन्यवाद पुन्हा एकदा देतो आणि पुन्हा त्यांचे आभार मानतो. याचं कारण एवढ्या मोठ्या प्रमाणामध्ये हा जो काही विजय मिळालेला आहे ही लँडस्लाईड विक्ट्री आहे. अतिशय मोठा विजय गेल्या अनेक वर्षात आपण जर पाहायला मिळाला नाही आणि तो यावेळेस आपण पाहतोय. त्यामुळे जे काही 2.5 वर्षामध्ये महायुतीने केलेलं जे काम आहे आणि महायुतीवर लोकांनी जो दाखवलेला विश्वास जो आहे, म्हणजे एकीकडे विकास कामं जी महाविकास आघाडीने थांबवलेली, ती महाविकास आघाडीने थांबवलेली कामं आम्ही पुढे नेली. आज त्याची प्रतिबिंब आपण पाहतोय. अनेक प्रकल्प सुरू झाले, त्याच्या डीपमध्ये मी जात नाही. आणि दुसरीकडे कल्याणकारी योजना ज्या आहेत, तर विकास आणि कल्याणकारी योजनांची सांगड आम्ही घातली आणि त्यामुळे मोठ्या प्रमाणावर मला वाटतं हा विजय जो आहे हा जनतेचा विजय आहे. आणि आम्ही सगळ्यांनीच, महायुतीच्या सर्व कार्यकर्त्यांनी या निवडणुकीमध्ये एवढं प्रचंड काम केलं. मला तर आठवतंय मी पहाटेपर्यंत काम करायचो, पुन्हा थोडे 2-3 तास झोप घेतल्यानंतर पुन्हा माझी सभा असायची. असे हे चक्र जे आहे, हे सत्र पूर्ण निवडणुकीवर चाललं. मला वाटतं 100-80-90 सभा ज्या आहेत त्या घेतल्या. प्रवास मला वाटतं मोजलेला नाही मी, पण प्रवासही निवडणुकीमध्ये प्रचारादरम्यान एवढा केला. आणि पायाला भिंगरी लावून जसे कार्यकर्ते काम करतात, एक साधा कार्यकर्ता म्हणून काम करतो त्याप्रमाणे मी काम केलं. मी कालही कार्यकर्ता म्हणून काम करत होतो, आजही कार्यकर्ता म्हणून आणि उद्याही कार्यकर्ता म्हणून काम करतो. तर मी स्वतःला एक मुख्यमंत्री म्हणून कधीच समजलो नाही. मी एक कॉमन मॅन म्हणून काम केलं. मुख्यमंत्री CM म्हणजे कॉमन मॅन अशी माझी धारणा. आणि त्या कॉमन मॅनच्या धारणेमुळे मला कॉमन मॅनमध्ये जाताना कुठलाही प्रोटोकॉल, कुठलाही अडथळा येत नव्हता, कारण मी स्वतःला ते समजत होतो. आणि मी मनाशी एक निश्चय केला होता की या कॉमन मॅनसाठी, या सर्वसामान्य जनतेसाठी या महाराष्ट्रातल्या सरकारमधून आपण काही ना काही केलं पाहिजे. आणि म्हणून कारण मी देखील एक सर्वसामान्य कुटुंबातून आलोय, शेतकरी कुटुंबातून, सर्वसामान्य कुटुंबातून. या जे काही सर्वसामान्य कुटुंबाच्या वेदना व्यथा मी पाहिलेल्या आहेत. मी भाषणात देखील अनेक वेळा म्हणालो, माझ्या आईचा विषय मी मांडला, पत्नीचा माझा विषय मांडला, की कशी ते सगळे काटकसर करायचे आणि कसं घर महिना चालवायचे, कसं त्यांचं नियोजन असायचं, याचं बिल त्याचं बिल सगळं कसं. आणि ते माझ्या डोक्यामध्ये पहिल्यापासून होतं की ज्या दिवशी अशा प्रकारचा अधिकार माझ्याकडे येईल त्यावेळेस मात्र मी माझ्या सर्वसामान्य लोकांसाठी, मग त्या लाडक्या बहिणी असतील, लाडके भाऊ असतील, लाडके शेतकरी असतील, लाडके ज्येष्ठ असतील, या सगळ्यांसाठी, किंबहुना काही आपले रुग्ण असतील, या सगळ्यांसाठी मी काही ना काही केलं पाहिजे अशी भावना माझ्या मनामध्ये होती. कारण शेवटी ते त्याच्यातून जावं लागतं माणसाला, तेव्हाच त्या वेदना कळत असतात. आता श्रीमंत माणूस, पैशाच्या राशीत लोळणाऱ्या माणसाला कळेल कसं? सोन्याचा चमचा घेऊन जन्माला आलेल्या लोकांना कशी गरिबी कळणार? मग गरीब परिवारातून आल्यामुळे या सगळ्या गोष्टी ज्या आहेत, या वेदना मला समजत होत्या. आणि बरोबर तेच मी या वेळेस केलं. आणि महायुती सरकारच्या माध्यमातून मग आम्ही लाडक्या बहिणींसाठी, लाडक्या शेतकऱ्यांसाठी, लाडक्या बाबासाठी आणि इतर सर्व घटकांसाठी आम्ही सर्व इको सिस्टीम तयार झाली असं म्हटलं तर वावगं ठरणार नाही. म्हणजे परिवारातल्या प्रत्येक सदस्याला काही ना काही सरकारच्या वतीने देण्याचा प्रयत्न केला. काय लोक म्हणतात, काय हे तुम्ही वाटताय काय? म्हणजे सरकारचं काय काम असतं? सर्वसामान्य कुटुंबातल्या सर्वसामान्य माणसाला सरकार म्हणून काहीतरी आधार मिळाला पाहिजे ही भावना असते. आणि मग ती मी पूर्ण केली. आणि म्हणून या 2.5 वर्षाच्या काळामध्ये मला समाधान आहे. मी खूप आनंदी आणि खुश आहे की या काळामध्ये आम्ही बाळासाहेबांचे विचार घेऊन पुढे गेलो. आनंद दिघे साहेबांची शिकवण आमच्या गाठीशी होती. आणि केंद्रातून आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी साहेबांचं आणि अमित शहा साहेबांचं पूर्ण पाठबळ आम्हाला होतं. कारण मला आठवत आहे जेव्हा आम्ही सरकार बदललं, उठाव केला, त्यावेळेस आम्हाला म्हटलं होतं आम्ही चट्टान की तरह आपके पीछे खडे आहे. आणि मला आठवत आहे की 2.5 वर्ष त्यांनी पूर्ण ताकदीने मागे उभे राहिले. माझ्यासारख्या सर्वसामान्य कार्यकर्त्यावर विश्वास ठेवला. 2.5 वर्ष त्यांनी मला मुख्यमंत्री म्हणजे सुरुवातीला जी मुख्यमंत्री पदाची जबाबदारी दिली ते दिवस मला आठवत आहे. आणि त्या प्रत्येक दिवसाचा, प्रत्येक क्षणाचा वापर आम्ही राज्यातल्या जनतेच्या हिताकरता केला. आणि म्हणून मी मोदी साहेबांना, अमित शहा साहेबांना देखील खूप धन्यवाद देईन की त्यांनी पाठबळ दिलं आणि योजनांना देखील मदत केली, निधी दिला. अनेक वेळा ते आले. आणि या सर्व 2.5 वर्षाच्या काळामध्ये राज्याचा जो काही प्रगतीचा वेग आहे तो वाढण्याचं कारण एवढंच की राज्य आणि केंद्र सरकार एक विचाराची सरकार जेव्हा असतात, समविचारी सरकार असतात, त्यावेळेस मात्र राज्याचा वेग प्रगतीचा अतिशय गतिमान होतो. आणि म्हणून हे सगळं जे आपण 2.5 वर्षाच्या कारकिर्दीमध्ये मी खूप समाधानी आहे. आणि मी आपल्याला सांगू इच्छितो की मी काय त्या डिटेलमध्ये जाणार नाही, परंतु आम्ही घेतलेले निर्णय जे आहेत हे ऐतिहासिक निर्णय आहेत. आतापर्यंतच्या इतिहासामध्ये कधीही कुठल्याही सरकारने एवढे निर्णय घेतले नव्हते. त्याचे साक्षीदार तुम्ही पण आहात. पत्रकारांचे पण विषय असतील तेही आम्ही सोडवले, सगळ्यांचे सोडवले विषय, कोणाचे ठेवले नाही. आणि जे महाविकास आघाडीच्या काळामध्ये शेतकऱ्यांचे प्रश्न, सिंचनाचे प्रश्न, जे सिंचनाचे मान्यता, ज्या 4 मान्यता मिळायच्या आहेत, दादा भुसे मंत्री आहेत हे, आणि आमच्या काळात 124 सिंचन प्रकल्पांना मान्यता, सुप्रमा. त्यामुळे हे जे काय आहे आज मी पाहतोय की प्रचंड असा या राज्याच्या प्रगतीचा वेग. आणि लोक म्हणतात, काय काय सगळे सांगतात राज्य कुठे गेले. राज्य 1 नंबरला नेण्याचं आम्ही काम केलंय. कारण मला आठवत आहे की जेव्हा अगोदरचं आमचं महायुतीचं सरकार होतं, देवेंद्रजी मुख्यमंत्री होते, तेव्हा राज्य पुढे होतं. आणि गेल्या 2.5 वर्षामध्ये, मागच्या 2.5 वर्षात आमच्या राज्य 3ऱ्या नंबरला गेलं. आम्ही आल्या 6 महिन्यामध्ये पुन्हा पहिल्या नंबरला आणलं. याचं आम्हाला समाधान आहे. आणि म्हणून मी आपल्याला एवढंच सांगेन की या राज्यामध्ये जे 2.5 वर्षामध्ये एक जे म्हणजे मी म्हणेन या निवडणुकीत जी मतांचा वर्षाव झाला, तो वर्षाव हा केवळ आणि केवळ जे आम्ही काम केलं, जे आम्ही निर्णय घेतले आणि जी आम्ही सकारात्मकता दाखवली यामुळे झालेला आहे सगळं. आणि म्हणून लाडकी बहिणींचा लाडका भाऊ ही ओळख माझी निर्माण झाली. सक्का लाडका भाऊ. आता बाकी ज्यांनी विरोध केला ते सावत्र भाऊ झाले. पण मी सांगितलं सावत्र भावांना तुम्ही लक्षात ठेवा बरोबर. आणि ते बरोबर बहिणींनी लक्षात ठेवलं आणि पूर्णपणे लाडक्या भावाची एक ओळख निर्माण झाली. ती ओळख मला सर्व पदांपेक्षा मला मोठी वाटते. ही जी नवीन ओळख निर्माण झाली कोट्यावधी लाडक्या बहिणींची. आणि त्यामुळे मी आपल्याला एवढंच सांगेन की मी समाधानी आहे आणि या 2.5 वर्षाच्या कारकिर्दीमध्ये झालेल्या कामांवर. आणि मग आता तुम्ही काय सांगत होते, कुठे गेले, कुठे बसले, हे प्रश्न तुम्ही नंतर विचारा. तुम्ही कुठे बसले, कुठे थांबले, कुठे म्हणजे काय नाराज झाले. आम्ही असे नाराज होऊन रडणारे नाही रे. आम्ही लढणारे लोक आहोत, लढून काम करणारे लोक आहोत. समजलं की नाही. त्यामुळे मी स्वतः तुम्हाला सांगतो, हे जे काही एवढी विक्ट्री झाली, एवढा मोठा विजय मिळाला, हा विजय जो आहे आतापर्यंतच्या विजयामध्ये ऐतिहासिक त्याची गणना होते. आणि याच्यामध्ये ऐतिहासिक गणना होण्याचं कारण एवढं की जीव तोडून मेहनत केली, जीव तोडून निर्णय घेतले आणि जीव तोडून लोकांमध्ये आम्ही गेलो. घरी बसलो नाही, लोकांमध्ये जाणारं हे सरकार आहे. मी असेन, दोन्ही उपमुख्यमंत्री असतील, आम्ही जे काही केलं काम, ते काम केलं, मनापासून केलं. आणि मी सांगतो तुम्हाला, माझ्या शरीरात रक्ताचा शेवटचा थेंब असेपर्यंत मी जे काम करेन ते या महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेसाठीच करेन. आणि दुसरी गोष्ट, या ठिकाणी मला काय मिळालं यापेक्षा महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेला काय मिळालं, महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेच्या जीवनामध्ये काय सुख मिळालं, काय आम्ही आज देऊ शकलो आनंद, हा आमचा उद्देश होता. आणि आज मला आनंद आहे. लाडक्या बहिणी, लाडके भाऊ लागले अप्रेंटिसशिपमध्ये. 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 रुपये त्यांना महिन्याला मिळायला लागले. वयोश्री योजनेतून मिळायला लागले. सगळ्या योजना आहेत. आज लाडक्या बहिणी सांगतात आम्हाला औषधाचे पैसे, आम्हाला मुलांच्या फीचे पैसे. काही लोकांनी तर छोटा मोठा व्यवसाय केलाय चालू आणि हे पैसे पुन्हा मार्केटमध्ये अर्थव्यवस्थेला चालना देण्यासाठी येत आहेत. आणि म्हणून गेल्या 2.5 वर्षामध्ये मी सांगतो की जे प्रेम मिळालं जनतेचं आणि एक आपल्यातला, त्यांना वाटतं आपल्यातला मुख्यमंत्री आहे, हा आपल्या घरातला परिवारातला मुख्यमंत्री आहे. कारण मी कधीही त्यांना अंतर दिलं नाही. कधीही त्यांना माझं निवासस्थान असू द्या, ऑफिस असू द्या, मंत्रालय असू द्या, कुठंही मला भेटल्यानंतर मी त्यांना अटेंड केलं. प्रत्येकाला भेटलो, मी प्रत्येकाशी बोललो. हा जनतेतला मुख्यमंत्री म्हणून एक जी काही ओळख निर्माण झाली ही त्याला फार नशीब लागतं. आणि म्हणून आज लोकप्रियतेमध्ये पण तुम्हीच सगळ्यांनी अंदाज काढले, सगळे लोकप्रिय मुख्यमंत्री का काय, ते सगळं ते काय, मी काय लोकप्रियता मिळवण्यासाठी काही काम केलेलं नाही का, माझं मोजमाप व्हावं म्हणून मी काय काम केलेलं नाही. मी काम केलं त्या महाराष्ट्रातल्या जनतेच्या जीवनामध्ये सरकार म्हणून आम्ही काय देऊ शकतो ते आम्ही देण्याचा प्रयत्न केला. आणि मी पुन्हा एकदा सांगतो की 2.5 वर्षाच्या काळात केंद्र सरकार पूर्ण भक्कमपणे जसं चट्टान की तरह उभं राहिलं, हे पुन्हा एकदा मी सांगतो. कारण शेवटी तुम्हाला राज्याला पुढे न्यायचं असेल तर केंद्राकडे मागावं लागतं, जावं लागतं, आपल्याला त्यांना आपले प्रस्ताव मांडावे लागतात. आणि म्हणून जवळपास 2-2.5 वर्षामध्ये लाखो कोटी रुपयाची निधी आम्ही केंद्राकडून मिळवला. आणि म्हणून मी आपल्याला सगळ्यांना या ठिकाणी धन्यवाद पण देईन आणि आपल्याला हे सांगेन की जे काही आता सगळं या राज्यामध्ये असं वाटतंय की काय एवढी सगळी मेजॉरिटी आली, एवढं सगळं आलं आणि मग हे कुठे थांबलंय, कुठं घोडं अडलंय, कुठे घोडा अडलं बिडलं नाही. मी तुम्हाला सांगतो, मी अगदी मन मोकळेपणाचा माणूस आहे, मोकळ्या मनाचा माणूस आहे. मी कुठेही कुठलंही धरून ठेवणं, ताणून धरणं असल्यातला माणूस नाही आहे. मी सांगितलं, माझ्या सगळ्या पदांपेक्षा सक्का लाडका भाऊ हे पद आहे. नवीन ओळख जी आहे ती एक नशिबाने मिळते, मोठी आहे. आणि म्हणून मी स्वतः काल आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी साहेबांना मी फोन केला होता. मी त्यांना फोन करून सांगितलं की सरकार बनवताना, तुम्हाला निर्णय घेताना कुठलं काही असं अडचणीचं आहे किंवा अडचण आहे माझ्यामुळे किंवा आणखी कुणामुळे, हे कधी मनात आणू नका. तुम्ही आम्हाला मदत केलेली आहे, तुम्ही आम्हाला 2.5 वर्ष संधी दिली या ठिकाणी या राज्याचा विकास करण्यासाठी, या राज्यामध्ये उद्योगधंदे आणण्यासाठी, सगळं करण्यासाठी. त्यामुळे तुम्ही निर्णय घ्या. तुम्ही तुमचा निर्णय जो आहे तो निर्णय एक बाबा महायुतीचे म्हणजे प्रमुख म्हणून की बाबा एनडीए, आमचे एनडीए, देशामध्ये एनडीए आणि महाराष्ट्रात महायुती. त्यामुळे तुम्ही घेतलेला निर्णय हा जसा भारतीय जनता पक्षासाठी असा जसा अंतिम असतो तसा आम्हालाही तो अंतिम आहे. त्यामुळे तुम्ही निर्णय घेताना कुठलंही काही असं वाटू नका की माझी अडचण आहे का, एकनाथ शिंदे काय अडचण आहे का, बिलकुल नाही. त्यामुळे मी काल मोदी साहेबांनाही फोन केला, अमित शाह साहेबांनाही फोन केला. माझ्या भावना त्यांना मी सांगितल्या की सरकार बनवताना माझा कुठलाही अडसर मनामध्ये ठेवू नका. तुम्ही जो निर्णय घ्यायचा तो तुम्ही निर्णय घ्या आणि तो निर्णय मला मान्य असेल. आणि त्यामुळे मी आज आपल्याला सांगू इच्छितो की कुठे गेला ते, आज आपल्याला मी सांगू इच्छितो, एवढं काम आपण केलेलं आहे, एवढं आपण काम केलंय. त्यामुळे काम तर तुमच्या समोर आहे आणि काम करत राहणारा कार्यकर्ता आहे. त्यामुळे काम आपल्याला करायचं आहे. पुन्हा महायुती म्हणून ही महायुती मजबूत आहे. महायुती जेवढ्या मजबूतीने जिंकली आहे, आता आमची जबाबदारी वाढली आहे की महायुती म्हणून आपल्याला आता ज्या लोकांनी मॅन्डेट दिलेला आहे, मॅन्डेट दिलंय, त्या मॅन्डेटचा आदर ठेवून आपल्याला आज जे आम्ही 2.5 वर्षात काम केलं त्यापेक्षा अतिशय गतिमानतेने आणखी आम्हाला निर्णय घ्यायचे आहेत. म्हणून मी आपल्याला एवढं सांगतो कि जीवन में असली उड़ान अभी बाकी है, अभी तो नापी है सिर्फ मुट्ठी भर जमीन, अभी तो सारा आसमान बाकी है. त्यामुळे तुम्हाला मी सांगतो, खूप काम आहे, खूप काम करायचं आहे आपल्याला. या राज्याला विकासाकडे न्यायचं आहे. राज्याला आपण देशामध्ये नंबर 1चं बनवलंय. आणखी आपण त्याच्यामध्ये जसं आपल्या देशाचं नाव आदरणीय मोदी साहेबांनी जगभरात रोशन केलंय. आज भारत देश आज आत्मनिर्भर, आत्मसन्मान, सगळ्या गोष्टी काय त्याला म्हणतो आपण नाही. आणि ज्या पद्धतीने आपले रिलेशन इतर देशांच्या बरोबर डेव्हलप झालेले आहेत ते पाहता याचा फायदा महाराष्ट्राला नक्की होईल. महाराष्ट्राला त्याचा फायदा घेतला पाहिजे. आणि म्हणून कुठलीही कोंडी आणि कुठलंही काही राहू नये म्हणून मी आज तुम्हाला बोलवलंय. आणि भारतीय जनता पक्ष वरिष्ठ नेतृत्व जो निर्णय घेतील मुख्यमंत्री बनवण्यासाठी, भारतीय जनता पक्षाचा महायुतीचा जो निर्णय मुख्यमंत्री बनवण्याचा घेतील त्याला पूर्णपणे शिवसेनेचं समर्थन आहे, शिवसेनेचा पूर्ण पाठिंबा आहे. भारतीय जनता पक्षाचा म्हणजे आज आमची बैठक होईल आणि त्यांच्या बैठकीमध्ये जे काही ठरेल ते मी कालच त्यांना सांगितलेलं आहे की जो निर्णय आपण घ्याल तो एकनाथ शिंदेला मान्य आहे, शिवसेनेला मान्य आहे. आणि त्यामुळे कुठलंही काही कोंडी, कुठलंही काही अडसर, कुठलंही काही नाराजी, कुठलं काही हे सगळं काही नाही आहे. स्पीड ब्रेकर नाही आहे. अगोदर महाविकास आघाडी स्पीड ब्रेकर होते, ते स्पीड ब्रेकर आम्ही काढून टाकले. त्यामुळे इथं कुठलाही स्पीड ब्रेकर नाही आहे. आणि म्हणून जो निर्णय भारतीय जनता पक्षाचे दिल्लीचे वरिष्ठ नेते मोदी साहेब आणि अमित शाह साहेब घेतील त्याला पूर्णपणे समर्थन, पाठिंबा आमच्या शिवसेनेचा आहे.
अगला कदम आपका क्या
पहले मैं सभी पत्रकारों का स्वागत करता हूं। आज हमारे राज्य में जो महायुति को जीत हासिल हुई है, इसलिए पहले तो मैं सभी मतदाताओं को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं, उनका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। हमारे लाडली बहना, लाडले भाई, लाडले किसान, लाडले सब जो भी है, सभी लोगों ने हमें पूरा सपोर्ट किया है और ये लैंडस्लाइड विक्ट्री है। ये अभूतपूर्व ऐसी विक्ट्री है, पिछले कई सालों में हम देखेंगे तो कभी भी ऐसी जीत दिखाई नहीं पड़ी है और ना मिली है। और इसलिए मैं महायुति के हमारे सभी लोगों को धन्यवाद तो दूंगा ही और मतदाताओं को धन्यवाद देता हूं। इसमें हमारे जो 2.5 साल में हमें काम करने का मौका मिला, मुख्यमंत्री की हैसियत से जो सपना बाला साहब ठाकरे जी का था, आम शिव सैनिक को मुख्यमंत्री बनाना, वो मुख्यमंत्री बनाने का सपना मोदी जी और अमित भाई ने पूरा किया और निश्चित रूप से पूरे पहाड़ की तरह वो मेरे पीछे खड़े रहे। इसका मुझे गर्व है, अभिमान है और उन्होंने जो सपोर्ट किया पिछले 2.5 साल में सरकार को आगे बढ़ाने में, फंड्स के प्रोविजन में, सब जो हर क्षेत्र के विकास के लिए उन्होंने पूरी तरह योगदान दिया है। इसलिए मैं उन दोनों का बहुत बहुत काफी आभारी। हमारे बाला साहब ठाकरे जी के
Well, all right, to decode the former Maharashtra Chief Minister's speech here in this catch-22 situation of who's going to be the next Maharashtra Chief Minister. Joining me here on the broadcast is Brijesh Pandey, News9's input editor, and Rennie Abraham, senior journalist. Brijesh, I'm going to quickly come to you first because we've been talking about this ever since the morning. It seemed like a valedictory speech, you know, sort of like a report card of Eknath Shinde. He's spoken more about the Mahayuti alliance than the Shiv Sena and has majorly hinted that it's going to be the BJP top brass that's going to be taking the call and I won't be going against it.
Well, I think, Kabir, the line which I can say after listening to the entire Eknath Shinde press conference is that the tussle for the post of CM still continues. And Eknath Shinde has made it very clear that it is the Prime Minister who is going to take the final call, which he will take when he takes. But he is not opting out, he is not pulling out of the race of the Chief Minister. This is what I could glean from the entire press conference which I heard. So Eknath Shinde still remains in contention despite saying that yes, it is the Prime Minister who will take the final decision. We leave all the final call to be taken by the Prime Minister. He spoke at length, sang paeans about Devendra Fadnavis, the Mahayuti, the kind of work they did, and how the Mahavikas Aghadi was the one who stalled the development project. But the bottom line, or the line on which everybody was so eagerly listening to this press conference was, will Shinde withdraw? No, Shinde has not withdrawn. He has praised Prime Minister, he has thanked him for his support, he has said that it is all, he has faith of Prime Minister in his tenure as a Chief Minister and as an individual, and therefore he leaves it to the Prime Minister. Writing is on the wall, but Shinde has not taken back his candidature. Many thought that he could use this press conference to announce that, as a caretaker Chief Minister, I'll be here still for another week, 5 days, and after that, Devendra Fadnavis or anybody who the BJP appoints as the next Chief Minister will take over. But he has left that option to the Prime Minister and he has not backed out of the calls yet.
Things are certainly heated up. You're absolutely right, Brijesh, because now looking at Devendra Fadnavis's arrival shots in the national capital, people are going to look at it in a different perception and different perspective. And you yourself pointed out it's all about political posturing. Rennie Abraham, senior journalist, also with us on the broadcast. Rennie, how are you looking at this, speech, this entire press conference that was held by the former Maharashtra Chief Minister? In that list of people being appreciated, he's also gone on and appreciated Devendra Fadnavis, but like Brijesh pointed out, he's not openly withdrawn his name from the ring.
Well, Kabir, you're right. He has not officially done so, but I think my takeaway from his address was there was some clarity with which he was suggesting that he has conceded that space for the BJP High Command, which all along had decided that Devendra Fadnavis was the Mahachanakya who had micromanaged the state assembly polls to come up with a record win. And therefore, there was little doubt, as I had even said in the earlier shows with Karthikeya also, that Devendra Fadnavis was the natural claimant for the CM's post. Mind you, it's almost deja vu for me, because back in 2014, when Fadnavis in fact was first made the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, preceded by 4 months prior to that, when the senior most leader of the BJP in Maharashtra, Gopinath Mundeji, had passed away. So at that time, one was able to similarly predict that Devendra Fadnavis was the natural claimant to the CM's post. And 4 months later, the elections were held. And in fact, with 122 MLAs, Fadnavis was crowned CM. So it has not, Kabir, if I may just add here quickly, even in the state polls, when I said micromanaging, what I meant is Fadnavis discerned his 48 BJP candidates on the lotus symbol. He also discerned the winning candidates of Ajit Pawar and the kind of impact that his fight would have in Marathwada and Western Maharashtra. And he also discerned for Eknath Shinde. In fact, he inducted 9 BJP candidates from Eknath Shinde, Shiv Sena, and 5 from the Ajit Pawar NCP. So that was micromanagement taken to an unprecedented level. There was very little doubt about his claim to chief ministership. As it is, they had fought effectively 166 seats, 148 of theirs, 4 for the smaller allies, 9 in Eknath Shinde and 5 in Ajit Pawar. So it was never going to be a race of numbers. The BJP was way ahead. Eknath Shinde and the Shiv Sena on the bow and arrow symbol contested only 84.
No, you're absolutely right. Brijesh, take a look at this. 2 different aspects and versions in front of us. Like Reni is pointing out, it seems like Eknath Shinde has hinted that he's conceded that particular post. You're of the opinion that he has appreciated all of these aspects, but has not certainly taken his name out of the ring. Now, on the fulcrum, on the Libra scales in front of the Prime Minister, like Eknath Shinde pointed out, that I'm not going to go against what the Prime Minister essentially wants. On the Libra scales, you'll have Devendra Fadnavis and you'll have Eknath Shinde. I mean, 9 times out of 10 times, we all know who's going to come out the victor.
Well, not 9 times out of 10, but Kabir, I think 10 out of 10 we have to accept that it's Devendra Fadnavis who is going to be the next chief minister. I think it's the entire press conference was a final culmination of the kind of pressure which was being built by Shiv Sena MP, MLAs and MLCs and all, who were saying that Eknath hai to safe hai and all kind of stuff which was going on on the social media and all. But one thing is very clear, that Eknath Shinde has thanked Prime Minister. Eknath Shinde has talked about the kind of development work which was done during his tenure. He said that the decision of the Prime Minister is going to be final. I thought personally, if you ask me, I thought that he would say that that he's not in the race and things like that. But yeah, that's absolutely all right. To each his own style of politics. But I think in a day or two we will get to hear the final decision. What we have heard, also, we have seen also, is that Devendra Fadnavis has arrived in Mumbai from Nagpur, and any time he is about to take off for Delhi. And I think in that meeting in Delhi, where he is likely to meet Home Minister Amit Shah and most likely Prime Minister as well, in which the decision is going to be conveyed. But it is all it's all set to be Devendra Fadnavis as the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Kabir?
I think Eknath Shinde has taken this, moment to, of course, suggest and hint that he has conceded that spot, but also put that message across to his own MLAs and MLCs as well. He talks about the Ladki Behna scheme. He says that women came out and, gave us this thumping mandate, did away with the Mahavikas Aghadi. He spoke more over the Mahayuti than the Shiv Sena. But he did use an Urdu couplet as well. I'm sure you all heard that particular moment. He said a lot of work is still left to do. He also went on to say CM means common man, Reni. Do you think this is why you're of the opinion that, he sort of hinted at conceding this CM's race?
You're very right, Kabir, when you say that Eknath Shinde has in fact hinted in so many words that the sky is the limit, while giving an emotional pitch to the Prime Minister. Mind you, considering and taking what Brijesh was contending earlier further, if you noticed, Eknath Shinde has only mentioned the Prime Minister. Now, in all discourses prior to this, you would have heard him always not only mentioning the Prime Minister, but also Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Now, there might be a reason for this, because in the run-up to the elections, campaigning, Amit Shah was priming up Devendra Fadnavis to assume the Chief Minister's post. He started off by calling him Hamare Maharashtra ke Sarvashri. Then he said it in a public speech where he said, Hamare Devendra ji ko jita dijiye. So he was priming up Fadnavis, and now today when Mr. Shinde does not mention Amit Shah, it is to me a kind of a telling point, that he has left his emotional conversation to the Prime Minister's, kind heart. And it is no secret that the Prime Minister is very, very, very fond of Eknath Shinde. I mean, I had occasion to write that the Prime Minister loves Eknath Shinde and has given him a hotline to him directly.
No, you're absolutely right, Reni. You're absolutely right, Reni. But then again, I mean, look at what Brijesh was pointing out. 10 out of 10 times. I mean, Brijesh, the Prime Minister's love for Eknath Shinde is not going to be outweighed by his love for, of course, Devendra Fadnavis.
I would say just two things, Kabir. All this drama, all this cacophony, all this clamor for Shinde to be elevated or reinstated as the top position is just that. Nothing more than that. And there are two things I would say. If you remember Prime Minister's victory speech in Bharatiya Janata Party's central office at 6 Deendayal Upadhyay Marg, he started by saying, Mere Param Mitra Devendra Fadnavis. And that Param Mitra Devendra Fadnavis, I've been covering BJP for a very long time now. I have not heard Prime Minister use that term for anybody. Number one. Number two, when you say that it is left to Prime Minister, you say that that's with the Prime Minister. But what I have been told is that the decision of Fadnavis has already been conveyed to Eknath Shinde. What is happening is, what politicians know, that it is normal protestation by the people on the ground, and you would also want to convey the message to your electorate that, listen, it was the Prime Minister who called me and said that Eknath ji, you leave the space for Devendra Fadnavis, and how can I say no to the Prime Minister? These are tricks of the trade. But I think the message is very, very clear to Devendra Fadnavis. It's just that he also wants to send a message to his electorate that to his Shiv Seniks that yes, we won, and I am ceding this space only because the Prime Minister has asked me. So this is what is being played on, because the Prime Minister does like Eknath Shinde, but I don't think that Prime Minister likes anybody more than the fact that it's his own party guy who is there sitting at the helms of affair, and repeat the Bihar mistake in the state of Maharashtra, where they're like within the kissing distance of forming the government on their own.
Well, absolutely. I was there at Nariman Point in Mumbai, right outside the BJP headquarters, when Devendra Fadnavis made his way after that thumping majority, and the way with which he was greeted, it did look like he was going to be at the helm of affairs over the next 5 years. Reni and Brijesh, do stay on with us. Let's listen in to Eknath Shinde again saying that he's not going to come in the middle of Prime Minister's decision.
आप लोगों ने देखा है कि 2-4 रोज से ऐसी चर्चाएं हैं, कोई नाराज है, कोई बैठा है घर में। हम नाराज बिराज होने वाले लोग नहीं हैं, हम लोग लड़ने वाले लोग हैं, लड़कर काम करने वाले लोग हैं, लोगों के जीवन में बदलाव लाने वाले लोग हैं। इसलिए अभी जो विक्ट्री हासिल हुई है, इससे हमारी और जिम्मेदारी बढ़ गई है। इसलिए महायुति और तेजी से काम करेगी और केंद्र सरकार और राज्य सरकार मिलकर बहुत आगे बढ़ेंगे और निश्चित रूप से इस महायुति की सरकार स्थापित होगी। और इसीलिए जो मैंने आप लोगों को कहा कि लगा कि क्या हुआ, मैं तो कल आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से भी बात की, उनको भी कहा सरकार बनाने में हमारी तरफ से कोई अड़चन नहीं है, आप निर्णय ले लो, जैसे आपके भारतीय जनता पार्टी को आपका निर्णय अंतिम रहता है। हम भी महायुति के कौन लीडर है, एनडीए के लीडर कौन है, मोदी जी है, अमित भाई है, तो उनको कहा कि मैंने अमित भाई जी को भी फोन किया, मोदी जी को भी फोन किया, सरकार बनाने में हमारी तरफ से कोई भी रुकावट, कोई भी अड़चन, कोई भी कुछ भी किसी को तरह का अड़ंगा नहीं है। आप बेशक आप निर्णय ले लो, उस निर्णय की तामील हो जाएगी, निर्णय की अमल हो जाएगी। और मैं आज आप सबको कहता हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेता जो निर्णय लेंगे मुख्यमंत्री पद के बारे में, जो उनका कैंडिडेट होगा, उसको हमारा शिवसेना का पूरी तरह समर्थन है।
Well, that was the caretaker, Chief Minister of Maharashtra, his latest speech. Of course, Reni, I'm going to give you the closing comments before we wrap this segment up. Of course, Eknath Shinde spoke about how he's a fighter and there's a lot of work that's still left to do. He's exuberating with a lot of confidence. What do you think are going to be the next couple of steps for somebody like Eknath Shinde?
Kabir, the important thing is what he wants. Because as was understood by me, the Prime Minister not only, he was actually very, very impressed with Eknath Shinde's way of work. Back when Devendra Fadnavis was the CM and he was the Urban Development Minister. And particularly what the PM was appreciative of was Eknath Shinde's work when he was deputed by CM Devendra Fadnavis to Kerala during the floods of 2016 or 18 was it, if I'm not mistaken. But he had gone and ably performed, and that is when he came to the notice of the Prime Minister. And as I've been saying for some time, that the Prime Minister was very keen that once they established government firmly in place in Maharashtra, there would be an option maybe 6 months from now when Eknath Shinde may be elevated and taken to New Delhi as a Union Cabinet Minister, while his son, Dr. Shinde, who is the MP, would be inducted into the state cabinet and probably even groomed as a deputy chief minister of Maharashtra. You must remember that this was exactly the offer that Devendra Fadnavis had held out to Uddhav Thackeray when they, despite which they broke off in 2019 and the MVA was formed. Fadnavis had told Uddhav Thackeray, look, let me induct Aditya Thackeray as deputy CM and I will groom him for 5 years so that thereafter he can be contesting elections from the Shiv Sena as a CM candidate. But that was rejected by the Shiv Sena. And then we saw the MVA government coming in place. So, effectively it's a payback time if you want it, or political comeback at the Shiv Sena. You notice the Prime Minister also was very particular in his speech to taunt the Shiv Sena. He used Marathi, the language, during his course of his speech to say, Ami Karun Dakhavla, which was the tagline of the Shiv Sena. Aditya Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray always, Karun Dakhavla. So
but
the Prime Minister took a taunt.
Needless to say, Rennie, a paradigm shift in Maharashtra's polity as well. We're running completely out of time. Brijesh, the last 30 seconds to you. What, according to you, are going to be the first steps taken by Eknath Shinde? It seems like the road is quite clear for Devendra Fadnavis, even as he makes
Well, Kabir, I would like our viewers to give a very big breaking news that in the middle of that, during the course of that press conference being held by caretaker Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, he has made perhaps the most relevant part of this entire press conference, that he is not averse to a BJP Chief Minister. So this particular line stated by Eknath Shinde clearly points to the fact that he has accepted the inevitable, and I think decks are now clear as far as the anointment of Devendra Fadnavis as the next Maharashtra Chief Minister. I think we are just waiting for an official announcement, but what I have just been told is that he has said that he is not averse to a BJP Chief Minister in the state of Maharashtra. I think this is the most clear, way he can say that he is not averse to Devendra Fadnavis being the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra. So I think, this particular line takes away all the kind of confusion or, conjectures which were there, that whether won't he, will there be any problem or not. But I think all of that is settled now as we speak.
Speculations, all of them put to the rest. He's given his valedictory speech and he's set the stage for Devendra Fadnavis to come in. Of course, not a situation of if, but when. And that when is going to be soon enough, ladies and gentlemen. Watch on News9 to bring you all the latest details, even as Devendra Fadnavis makes his way to the national capital, soon to be, if it looks like, most likely, the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Rennie Abraham, senior journalist, and Brijesh Pandey, input editor. Many thanks for joining us here and helping us out with your insightful inputs.
Truth. Truth can divide a nation, barely born.
At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps,
Truth can end 400 years of oppression. Truth is never forgotten.
India will awake to life and freedom.
Truth can make you believe in miracles, in magic. Truth Truth can shake the world, move it, and bring it to a standstill. Because truth sets you free. For a century, we've been the voice of truth. The voice of the nation since 1924.
It's your girl Pranvi back with another episode of Love It and List It. रुक जाओ, मैंने एक बार आपको देखा था बीच में guys. And बहुत ज़्यादा फंबल मारा मैंने इस एंड में. Hey, what's up guys? It's your girl Pranvi and welcome back to another fun episode of Love It List It. Today we are at a dreamland for anyone who is saving dates for the upcoming wedding. And today I'm gonna try on some gorgeous lehengas, sarees and suits for you guys. So let's go. बंद नहीं करा मेरा कैमरा.
Future of mobility, co-driving the agenda.
And before we go to the playoff, take a look at this one.
Mobility is evolving fast.
From electric cars to self-driving tech,
innovation now leads the way.
New solutions for a changing world.
The era of electric is here.
The age of gasoline is fading. From ICE to EV, the transition is on.
Hybrid and hydrogen options are evolving too.
Engineering the next era of movement.
An evolution driven by necessity.
Sustainable choices driving tomorrow's cars.
The fuel debate intensifies.
Flex fuel. Is it an alternative or a temporary fix?
Lithium ion versus sodium ion. What powers tomorrow?
Lower emissions, affordability,
sustainability.
The future of car ownership is changing.
Flexibility and access over ownership convenience, redefined for a greener world.
Germany's roadmap, precision, innovation, and collaboration.
Stuttgart, where automotive history meets innovation.
Shaping the future with partners like India.
The playoff begins.
And for this playoff, let's invite upon stage Mr. Shubhranshu Singh, Chief Marketing Officer, CVBU, Tata Motors. Mr. Santosh Iyer, Managing Director and CEO, Mercedes-Benz India. We have Mr. Martin Corner, Director of Climate Protection, Mobility and Housing Policy Unit, City of Stuttgart. Mr. Sigmar Hasis, CEO of Hasis. We have Dr. Hagen Radowski, Senior Partner, Porsche Consulting GmbH. And Mr. Mark Zimmerman, CFO, Member of the Board at MHP. And for the refereeing of this playoff, the match referee is none other than my friend and colleague Karthik Malhotra. Karthik, all yours, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I think everything that we've heard today pretty much culminates in something that we're going to talk about now, which is the automobile industry. We've spoken about green, we've spoken about sustainability. We also just heard Mr. Purnendu Chatterjee talk about sodium-ion batteries as an alternative to lithium-ion. But starting with the concept of future of mobility, I really want to understand, is there a future of mobility beyond electric mobility? Because right now, the buzz of the town, no matter which town you go to, from Europe to India, happens to be electric. Mr. Santosh Iyer, let me start with you. Is the future of mobility electric, electric only, or electric plus?
See, we are in Stuttgart, where if you ask it 140 years back, and if you would have come here and asked this question, they would have said, and you do a market research, they would have said mobility means faster horse carriages. Nobody would have told a car, right? Till the time.
Sir, you're doing that already. You're using the Formula One engines in the Mercedes-Benz cars, and then you're combining it with the power of electric and hybrids, which are giving a mileage of 13 kilometers a liter. So I don't think the story has changed too much, has it?
No, I think the brand thrives on innovation, and we have been pushing the boundaries. So the future to define is yet to be seen. But as we see today, there is no other alternative, at least in the passenger car space, than electric. When you have to decarbonize the industry, when you need to also get performance out of the car, I think if you tick all those boxes, right now it's only electric which offers. But future nobody knows. That's to put a time frame to say the future will never be anything apart from any other technology may not be entirely right. But at this stage, it's about electrification. It's about using electric cars. Personally, me working for the brand, when I come to Stuttgart, when I have a chance to see some future cars, including performance cars, they blow me away, on what's yet to come. So a lot of work happening. On one side, we heard about batteries, but also on the other side in terms of motors, and also trying to make the car itself much more recyclable, much more sustainable. So yes, right now, all bets in on electrification, electrified cars, till the time something else challenges this technology and these platforms.
Okay, Shubhranshu, let me come to you and let me get the India perspective. While Santosh Iyer has also given us the Indian perspective, but this is a German brand, and on the panel you've got two more German gentlemen with you. But I want to come to the Indian perspective. Is it too early for us to start thinking about sustainability? Or is it the right time to also start thinking about sustainability when we talk about electrification?
As a matter of fact, I think India is not even one step behind when it comes to the consciousness that sustainability is an imperative. In fact, thousands of electric buses are plying our roads. We are in electric cargo, in mini trucks, passenger vehicles. There is a leadership position already with Tata Motors. But the important thing is the reasons that are driving sustainability is the consumer realizes that he is doing good by doing well himself, as in the cost of operation itself becomes a major motivator. Say, for instance, in the case of last mile cargo, if you are spending 30,000 rupees on average a month on diesel, if you have, say, you're running 300 kilometers a day, the equivalent costs in electrification would be about 3,000 rupees a month. So even though the vehicle cost would go up, the cash in the pocket and the cost of operation is so lucrative that it is becoming a major magnet. So I think contextually people realize that it's good for business, it's good for environment, and of course the sensorials and everything else along with it are also going up. So electric vehicles are very much present across various sectors of the economy, and we will see this in terms of payload, etc., going across pretty much the entire portfolio where commercial vehicles and passenger vehicles are
right. So we've seen, I think what you're mentioning is absolutely bang on and on point. When you talk about electrification of the fleet in India, the journey really started with commercial vehicles, and a high capex, low opex model works well. But in the case of passenger vehicles, is the consumer going to be ready to shell out that additional delta on an electric vehicle when ICE pretty much does the job for him? Shubhranshu.
Well, in my opinion, I can speak as a marketer. You see, we are too focused on what is changing in the consumer's context. And Bill Bernabach, who was an advertising genius, said, for millions of years, human beings have had very basic instincts and very basic heuristics. So we should be more concerned about the unchanging man. And the unchanging aspect of this is, if there's something new that offers you delight, that has novelty value, that has huge operating economic advantages, then, the adoption starts. And then the early adopters set the trend and the rest follows. So that the Nexon in EV from Tata Motors has a 70% market share now.
Absolutely.
And I think the accompanying infrastructure in terms of home charging and so many other things, the conditioning variables are all lining up. And so I think the future is very, very bright. And I think the passenger adoption is also happening not only because it's a fancy new car, but because they see the value in terms of what it does to the environment, and they want to make their own personal contribution as well.
Okay, let's bring in the German perspective here. Dr. Hagen Rudowski, if I can throw a question to you. You're from the Porsche Consulting Group and Consultancy, and you sit on the board and, work very closely on strategy. From the perspective of a German brand like Porsche, Am I pronouncing it correct? Is it Porsche, Porsche,
Yeah.
Porsche?
It doesn't matter as long as you say it with a smile.
Okay,
so.
well, the smile is right here, as broad as yours. So from a consulting perspective, when you were on the drawing board, really figuring out the electric strategy, what were some of the pros and cons, and what really made the pivot from ICE to electric happen for the Porsche Group?
I think the point was already made over here when we say, electric is the future, there's no doubt. But let's not forget the most important person in our game, and that's the customer. Take rates are different around the world, and some regions need more time. So really adjusting your product portfolio in that sense that you kind of respect that different rates of change around the world really makes a perfect strategy.
Okay, Siggy, let's come to you. There's a time involved from the time a car is conceptualized or a vehicle is conceptualized to the time it really comes to the market. With a very rapidly changing technological environment, that time to market needs to be crunched. It needs to be shortened. And I think that is where somebody like you comes in, who has about 27 years of experience, if I'm not mistaken, with Mercedes-Benz, and now you're running your own consultancy firm. So how do we innovate, and how do we reduce the time to market, and how do we quickly pivot from something that is not working to something that could work using technology?
Yeah, I fully agree. It's speed, speed, speed. So how could we accelerate to bring innovation in the product and produce it in a customer valuable way? And this is all about, I call it digital transformation with lots of elements, but we need digital transformation with a concrete why. Why means value add. Value add for the customer. And at the end, the company wants to earn money. Therefore, speed means and let me just make an example how we do the validation. Other OEMs globally, there are 3 types of validation. Road-based validation, but for this you need hardware prototypes, very costly. Then you have test bench